Okay, I first want to start by thanking you all so much for getting the channel over 250 subscribers. It's a big milestone that when I first started this channel, I didn't really think it would ever get to. So I just want to thank you all so much for that. And hopefully we get way more in the future. But yeah, I want to thank you all so much for getting me up to here already. And also, I want to thank you all so much for also getting the channel over 100,000 views in total, which is a huge accomplishment. We've had a few videos do really well recently, like that Beast of the Mesozoic Rex video, and then some of the older videos did really well as well, contributing to this, like some of those Jurassic World minis videos. But yeah, I just want to thank you all so much for the support on the channel. Also, just the amount of subscribers lately. We've gained like almost 50 subscribers in the last month, and I just can't thank you all enough for that. Um, and the channel actually got over 250 like a week or two ago. And the only reason why the subscriber special took this long to come out is in that channel update video I listed that I had 7 videos that I like needed to make, like just because they were lined up, and I mentioned that video we would probably end up hitting 250 subscribers somewhere around the middle of there, or maybe by the end of that, and we ended up doing that. So I did want to end up doing all those videos, and those videos included the 2 PNSO figures, the Carcharodontosaurus, the Miragai, and then there were some lot videos, the museum video. I'll just put a link to all those videos. But yeah, I just want to thank you all so much for the support during that little week, or that like 2 or 3 week span of just those videos and getting me up to this point during that. And yeah, so I plan on showing the full collection. So yeah, we'll just get into the collection part now. But yeah, once again, thank you all so much for all the support on the channel as of recently. But yeah, so I plan on showing off the collection, the full collection, at least once a year, uh, each year as a part of the like end of the year video series. But I also like doing it for like random stuff, like the subscriber specials and stuff, um, because I always do that one at the end of the year, like I said, my end of year collection video. So there'll still be one of those, but I do like sprinkling in like a video like this for my subscriber specials. And I won't always do a collection video for the subscriber specials, but just because it's been like 6 months or more since the last one, I thought that right now wouldn't be a bad time to do it. Um, and this is going to kind of be like 3 videos in one. So first we're going to show off the current collection, which is organized by classification. So right now it's like the Tyrannosaurs are all beside each other, the Ceratopsians are all beside each other, the Sauropods are all beside each other, which is kind of how the collection had been, but there's one difference which I'll show off during the video. And then I'm going to rearrange it and show you what the rearranged collection looks like, because I'm going to organize it by brand now. I've had the collection organized a few different ways throughout the times on this channel, and I just like reorganizing it after so long. So yeah, that's what we're going to do in today's video, show off what the collection looks like right before this, and then the updated collection. And then one last bit, we're going to just go over some future stuff on the channel, a lot of future videos and stuff, kind of like that upcoming videos video, or like the channel update video where I just mentioned a bunch of upcoming videos. We're going to kind of do that at the end too, just not super in depth, but just mention a bunch of stuff that could be coming to the channel, that probably will be coming to the channel. So yeah, let's just get right into the actual collection. But I will mention I did a poll to see how you all organized your collections as well, and actually the majority of you all at the time of this recording, I think, voted brand, which was interesting. I'd planned on organizing mine to brand anyways, just because brand and classification were my 2 favorite ways to organize. But I also really like doing like formations and stuff. It's just kind of harder doing that. But or even I know some people organize them by like size and stuff, or just random, like like colors and stuff. There's a lot of ways to organize a collection, but mine had been by classification. And you all will see the classification organization. But then I'm going to do a rearranged by brand organization, which you all will see. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Showing off the collection. Okay, I'm going to start by saying the lighting in my room is kind of bad, so that's why the flash is on. But yeah, we'll just get right into it. So this is the Tyrannosaur shell. We have a lot of T-Rex pretty much here to right here is all T-Rex. And then we've got Daspletosaurus, Tarbosaurus, Gorgosaurus. I don't remember if I mentioned Tarbosaurus, but then we've got like Champsosaurus, Albertosaurus, Guanlong, Utahraptor, and then we've got a lot of raptors, a lot of Velociraptor, with a little bit of Utahraptor, and we do have the Megaraptor figure. I have moved it up into like the Saur shelf, because that's really what this shelf is, but I'm still not for sure exactly what Megaraptor should be. And then we've got like Dinosaur, some Oviraptors like City Patty, an Oviraptor itself, and the egg, like the Therizinosaurus, and I think that's Nanchiongosaurus. But yeah, that's the top shelf, or the Tyrannosaurus, Lorosaurus shelf. And then we'll move to the other theropod shelf, which is pretty much every other theropod that's like not Coelurosaurs. So we'll start on this side. This is like the Krylos, Dilos, like all like the more primitive theropods. And then we've got like some Abelisaurs. Yeah, so we've got like I said, Cryolophosaurus, Ceratosaurus, Cryolophosaurus, Ceratosaurus, and Dilophosaurus, like the more primitive theropods that, like I said, are more primitive. And then we've got like the Abelisaurs and the Ceratosaurus, Carnotaurus, Majungasaurus, and then we've got like our Spinosauroids, Baryonyx, Spinosaurus, Suchomimus, and then we've got Carcharodontosaurus, Giganotosaurus, Acrocanthosaurus, Allosaurus, Concavenator, Acrocanthosaurus, and then some Allosaurs, and Sinraptor. And then we'll move on to the herbivore shelves. So this is my Ceratopsian and then Thyrophora members, I believe it's what it's called, the group of Stegosaurs and Ankylosaurs. So we've got my Stegosaurs, the Kentrosaurus, Dacentrurus, Stegosaurus, Miragai, and then for my Ankylosaurs we've got, I think this might be Sicania, but I know this is Swerpelta and that's Ankylosaurus, and then I think we have a Sicania possibly in the back, that little Schleich one. And then we've got the Pachycephalosaurs and Dracorex, which might not be Dracorex if you know, you know. And I will say one thing about this figure specifically, it had a bunch of little white specks on it during like the video that I got that figure, but I kind of cleaned it up, so it turns out that that was literally just like little specks of something that could come off. There's still a few of them like right on the toe there, but that turns out that stuff could come off luckily. Because at first I thought it was like little paint chips, but it wasn't. And we've got the Ceratopsians, bunch of Triceratops, some Torosaurus, Chasmosaurus, Vulgaceratops, Aeneosaurus, Zuniceratops, Styracosaurus, and Pachyrhinosaurus. One thing I did want to mention really quick about this shelf, this Concavenator, the one by Collecte, does happen to have the little feathers on it, right here, if it'll, right on the arms, which is really cool, because I talked about that in the Concavenator video, where this figure possibly could have had feathers, since Concavenator possibly did have feathers on the arms, but it could have also been muscle attachments, which I talked about in that video. But it is cool that they added that. And then we'll move down to the pretty much every non-dinosaurs shelf. It's the mammals plus marine reptiles and pterosaurs. So we've got like the Arsenomatherium, the Amebelodon, the mammoths, the Smilodons, saber-toothed cats, Andrewsarchus, the giant armadillos like Didacurus, and can't think of what the bigger one is, maybe Glyptodon. And then we've the Irish elk or Megaloceros. Then we've got the giant ground sloth. The I guess he should technically not be on the shelf, since that Gastornis technically is a dinosaur, but just where it was, you know, like after the main dinosaurs went extinct, I put it on this shelf. And then we have our marine reptiles. Oh, and Dimetrodon's up here too, just because, you know, Dimetrodon more closely related to mammals than reptiles. Well, more closely related to mammals than dinosaurs, I should say. And then we have our marine reptiles. I finally decided to take that little stand off the Tylosaurus just because, you know, I realized it was kind of pointless and it took up a lot of space. So yeah, we've got Tylosaurus, we've got some Mosasaurs, Deinosuchus, Dunkleosteus, Liopluridon, some sort of Plesiosaur bipapo, Pteranodon, Quetzalcoatlus, Pterosaur, Anguara, I believe, by Schleich, Tanystropheus. And then we'll move down to the last shelf, at least on this shelf, which is the sauropods. We've got Apatosaurus, Saltosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Camarasaurus, Amargasaurus, Diplodocus, and then we move on to our hadrosaurs. We've got Parasaurolophus or Parasaurolophus, Edmontosaurus, Myosaura, Hippacrosaurus, Lambeosaurus, Corythosaurus, Gryposaurus or Gryposaurus, Iguanodon, and I believe that's it for this shelf. But if you did see that last collection video, you might have noticed that there is one big thing missing. The other Tyrannosaurs, or some of the other Tyrannosaurs, and a few other figures. And that will show right here after this one little thing. And then we also still have this shelf, or this little like extra shelf, which just has some extra figures and like some boxes on it, some Beast of the Mesozoic boxes, a Safari Ltd largemouth bass figure, a little Safari Ltd booklet that shows off this Concavenator. If I didn't have to have the flash on, I want it, but the lighting's just horrible in here. And then we've got some stuff in here, which you all have seen. There's like a bunch of tags for like Safari Ltd figures and stuff. All my Safari Ltd 2 figures. And then that bottom shelf has something that I'm kind of saving as a surprise for a future video, so we won't show what's in here off just yet in the bottom shelf. But yeah, now we'll show off where some of the other figures are that you currently don't see. Because for a while I was wanting to get another shelf, and I probably am going to have to get another shelf at some point, but I kind of managed to make some space with one other thing, so we'll show that off right now. Okay, so here is like my Jurassic Park-esque figures. So this is just on a drawer that had a lot of space. I had some other stuff on here, but I cleared it off so I could put more figures. So this is all my Jurassic Park figures, plus all my Papo figures, because most of the Papo figures are really like just Jurassic Park-esque figures, so that's why I put them here. Like this Spinosaurus, honestly, if it wasn't just for it being a Papo, and I know I do have some Papo figures still on that shelf, like the Plesiosaur, just because it's a marine reptile, and the Megalosaurus, just because that made way too much sense, but I did keep all my dinosaurs, even the Spinosaurus, which is a more accurate Spinosaurus compared to, well, like the one right behind it, but this is all my JP-esque figures. So all the Jurassic Park brand plus Papo. Obviously, clearly not the biggest Jurassic Park fan just as far as the figures. I do like Jurassic Park, especially the Hammond collection. I am picking up most of the Hammond collection figures that I find, but really that's the only thing I'm really collecting as far as the Jurassic series. So yeah, we've got a few of the Tyrannosaurs, like the big Hammond collection and the Papo one. Then we've got a bunch of Velociraptors, like that Hammond collection Velociraptor. Then we have like the Dimetrodon, a JPG, the Giganotosaurus, some Allosaurs, the Concavenator, the Carnotaurus, Spinosaurus, these two Dilos, the Spinos, like I mentioned, two Pachy's. I really love this Pachyrhinosaurus and this Allosaurus were in that like last bit of Toys R Us line that in the, like I said, the last bit of Jurassic Park figures that were made, and these are two of my favorite figures in my collection, I will say. And then we've got Pentaceratops, really love that figure, and such an interesting pose, and kind of can do two poses. The Triceratops, a few Pachycephalosaurs, and Kylosaurus that really looks more like Euoplocephalus, Parasaurolophus, Stegosaurus, and then my PlayStation plus a Sasuke Funko Pop. Just kind of random, but that's what it is. But yeah, that's what the current collection looks like, and now I guess you all will see the reorganized collection right now. It's probably going to take me like an hour at least, but I guess you all will see it like right now. I forgot to mention two little other things that I'm doing to change the collection. I'm also dusting it because, as you can tell, it was clearly in a need for some dusting after how long some of these figures have sat. And then also, there's been this like light I've had in the back that honestly I just haven't liked that much. I'll show what it looks like, but I personally just don't like it, so I'll let y'all see what it looks like when it's on, but I'm just getting rid of it because it really doesn't do much for me. Okay, so this is what that light looks like that I was talking about. It's that little box, and it's just all these like little lights, and I'm just going to take it out just because it doesn't really do much for me, and the little box kind of takes up space, and I just don't really like the look with them on, so really there's just no point to have it on the shelf. So while I'm getting the whole shelf cleared out, I'm just going to take them off. Okay, so for the first change in the collection, the only thing that has really been affected on this side, like the Papo and Jurassic Park style figures, is we've moved the Papo Plesiosaur or Elasmosaurus over to this section, but the rest of the collection has changed a lot. Okay, starting with the top shelf, this is now primarily Carnegie collection, and I had to remove a few of my Carnegie collection figures, just the repeats though, but every single one of these is Carnegie except a few exceptions, which I will mention. And really they're not put in any specific order because of like any specific reason. I mean, there's a few that are close to each other for a few reasons, like the Amargasaurus being close to the Diplodocus just because they're related. But I will mention really quickly the ones that aren't Carnegie. So this is part of a Safari Museum set, but it's not the Carnegie line. And it's this egg, and the only reason it's here is just because, well, I would have put it with the regular Safari line, but you'll see why I couldn't do that. And that's also the same reason this Albertosaurus is here. And while I do really love having the pair together of the Albertosauruses for what I've said in the previous collection video, I actually plan on putting that figure in with the regular safari figures, except you'll see the reason once again, and the T-Rex hatchling. I put these two together just because they're both eggs, and once again, the safari set, you'll see why it's very full. And then we've got one of my favorite shelves. This is like my more premier figures that aren't premier brand figures that aren't safari. So first we've got the Beast of the Mesozoic figure. So we've got this Triceratops and the Rex right beside each other. And then we've got that Zuni there, and there is a little bit of space here, but at the end of the video you'll see why there's some space there. Then we've got my PNSO figures. We've got the Ankylosaurus right here to kind of form that Hill Creek formation, and we've got the Tarbosaurus here because Tarbosaurus and T-Rex being related. And then we've just got my other PNSO figures. Then the Carcharodontosaurus by the Allosaurus. So the Allosaurus is in a location for a few specific reasons. One, by the Carcharodontosaurus, just because how they're related, and then being by the Miragai, the Miragai and the Collectae Diplodocus, because where it would have lived and what it would have hunted. And then we have the Collectae Styracosaurus, just some Collectae figures actually, like that Diplodocus. And then we have the Safari Ltd Field Museum set. I've got every single one except the other version of Sue with the closed mouth. And there are two of the Anatotitan figures, or Edmontosaurus and Ectons. And then we've got the kind of random shelf. This is the GeoWorld Jurassic Hunters, Pterobibitat, and pretty much any non-dinosaurs by Safari. So yeah, we've got all my Pterobibitat figures here on this shelf, plus the GeoWorld Jurassic Hunters, like I mentioned. Some of these are in locations for reasons like I've got the Carnotaurus by the Ceratosaurus due to how they're related, and the Carno being kind of close to the Amargasaurus because they're both in South America. The Ceratosaurus being kind of close to the Dinosaurus because of both living in the same environment. Some of the Ceratopsians being beside each other. And then we've got some Safari Ltd marine reptiles and the Dunkleosteus. And then some of the pterosaurs. And then all my Safari Ltd prehistoric mammals, plus the one Carnegie mammoth. That's the only Carnegie figure that is not on that top shelf, that's not a repeat. And then this is the Papomegalosaurus. It just really made no sense to put it with the other Papodinosaurs just because it was the only prehistoric mammal. And then the Schleich, I believe Glyptodon, it's one of the giant armadillos. It just made no sense to put it with just the Schleich dinosaurs. And then this is that safari shelf. As you can see, there's no space. That's really the only reason. I mean, I guess I maybe could have squeezed a figure or two back in there, but it's just so cramped. Getting any figure out for reviews and stuff, for comparisons, is going to be a task. But yeah, I definitely really like this shelf. Obviously, I've got a ton of safari figures, but too many probably, just because, obviously, I can't even put any of the mammals and a few of the other safari figures, some of these up here can't even go on this shelf with other safari figures unless I really just started pushing the figures with no space at all. And then we've got the Schleich shelf. This is definitely the shelf. Well, I guess this shelf has a big open space, but if I wanted to, I could have a ton of space on this shelf. And it's just because I don't collect a ton of Schleich. A lot of my Schleich is actually older Schleich. But yeah, we'll show off what we do have. So we've got some of the raptors, some Ajiga, that awesome Brachiosaurus, the Majunga, Baryonyx, and just a bunch of other smaller Schleich figures. So yeah, this is what the shelf is looking like for now. Definitely liking how it looks, especially these top shelves. I definitely wish I might try to rearrange it and get the Albertosaurus and this T-Rex hatchling down here again, but for right now, this is how the shelf is looking, and you all saw the other shelf. But yeah, I'm definitely liking how the collection's looking right now, but yeah, we'll go over some other stuff that's not on the shelf and some of the stuff that we had to take off the shelf. Okay, so now that you all have seen what the collection had looked like, because pretty much it had been just adding whatever figures we got to it, but had moved the Jurassic Park and Papo figures from the last collection video. But now it's organized by brand with a few exceptions. But these are the figures that I had to take off the shelf. They're all Carnegie, just because that Carnegie shelf there's a lot of Carnegie figures, and just there are a lot of bigger figures. And just all these are repeats, so there's just really no point to have them up on the shelf, at least right now. And this Apatosaur, we'll go over each of them. This Apatosaurus just has been on and off the shelf already just because it's not in the best of shape. This Dinosuchus, this is a really good Dinosuchus figure, and I really love this figure, but it just, as big as it is, it just takes up a lot of flat space on a shelf, so it's just kind of hard to have two of them. I'll probably just end up putting this on that shelf with the Jurassic Park-esque figures just because I really like how it looks. This Acro, like I've said before, I hate the head sculpt on it, but just two of them already. And then the Packy, I do love this Packy, and I love making like a little diorama with it of the two of them, but just taking up too much space right now. Even though I know there is a little bit of open space, I think on that Carnegie shelf, I do have some more Carnegie figures that are coming, or that I've got that I just haven't had on video yet, so there's going to be some figures that might be moved around still. And then we've got two of the Stegosaurs. This is just a really outdated Stegosaurus model. I don't even know if the Carnegie line, I don't think they even redid Stegosaurus, but this one's just outdated at this point, so yeah, I don't love the Stegosaurus figure, but like I said, we've already removed, or we still have one up, but took off these two, even though they are in really good shape. And then we took off one of the pairs. We had two up, and now we only have one on the shelf right now. But, you know, maybe after I put these new Carnegie figures on the shelf, I might notice there's still a little bit of room for some of these guys. But I don't know. It's definitely a tight space right now with what's going to be going on there. But yeah, now we're going to go over pretty much just all the upcoming video stuff. So yeah, I want to, once again, just really quickly, I want to thank you all so much for getting me up to 250 subscribers. It means the world that you all like my content and watch it and stuff. So just want to thank you all once again for that. But yeah, we'll go over all the future content that you all could be seeing. So I have a lot of upcoming videos planned, possibly reviewing some of my safari figures that you would have seen in the collection video. Two Beast of the Mesozoic figures that I've shown off, I think, in the last collection video that just weren't on the collection in the last collection video. So we'll show them really quick. So we've got the Kickstarter, or not the Kickstarter, the Alpha Velociraptor Osmoske. It's the less popular species of Velociraptor, and then the Beast of the Mesozoic Xenuan Long. So now that I have space for these two on the collection, I definitely plan on reviewing them fairly soon, especially that Velociraptor. That'll probably be the first one of those two I review, and as you saw, there was enough space where I could probably put both of them up, so that's one of the reasons why there was space on that shelf. And then I also plan on going over some of my PNSO figures that you would have seen already that I haven't reviewed yet. I've reviewed a few of them, and I will put a link to just the review playlist and the collection playlist, just so if you all want to see what I have reviewed and what I haven't, and just what the collection has looked like before. And also, I think I'm going to do a Jurassic World line of figures. I mentioned this in that upcoming videos video about maybe doing this. I think I might do that really soon, actually, where I'm going to go over this weirder Jurassic World line and just talk about, it's like a less popular line of Jurassic World figures that I just wanted to show off. And I don't really collect this line anymore, but I just wanted to show it off and see if any of you all had collected it or anything. And then I have, I might do another controversial cases. I haven't done one in a while, but I did one over Spinosaurus a long time ago. But I might do one over Nanotyrannus, just because I think that would be an interesting video. I mean, I think most people have an idea of what side they're on this, but I wouldn't care to just mention what I think out of the two sides. But that one's definitely probably the most iffy of the videos I mentioned on whether or not I'm going to actually do it, just because it takes a lot of research, and the last controversial case just didn't do so hot, so I just don't know if I really want to put in the effort for a video like that if it's not going to do that well. And then I still need to do all that Prehistoric Planet stuff, as far as the conclusion video, and watching Season 2. I still haven't even watched Season 2. And I actually have 4 lots right beside me right now that I need to review, the lot itself, and then I have a few figures in some of those lots that I want to review. 3 of those lots are safari-ish lots, have some Carnegie figures. I think each of them have a really good Carnegie figure. And there's one that a set of figures that's older that I've never bought any of these figures before, so I just think that'll be an interesting video. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And also, I just want to say, if you all want to see any figures reviewed that you saw in this video that I haven't reviewed yet, you can just mention it. As long as I have it, or if it's a figure I don't have that you would like to see me review, you could say, and maybe I'll try to get it. But yeah, just say whatever you would like to see reviewed, and I could definitely try to review it at some point. But yeah, once again, I just want to thank you all so much for all the support on the channel. It's so greatly appreciated. And since I have so many upcoming videos I want to do, I want you all to have some say in which videos are going to come first. So I think I'm going to start using the polls thing more, just as far as like giving you all a little bit more say as far as what comes when. Because I know in that one upcoming videos video, I mentioned like which videos were coming in that specific order. But I'm going to I just said a bunch of videos that are going to happen, and I'm just going to let you all be like, well, we want to watch this one first. But yeah, once again, just thank you all so much for watching this video, and thank you all for watching all the videos and subscribing. It means so much to me, and I hope you all enjoyed this video.